This is basically a smoother, less smoky by the fireplace. So let's review Lattafa Ameer Al Oudh Intense Oud. Yo, what's good guys? Hunter here and welcome back to the channel where I upload a weekly fragrance contest. You already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any future videos. And make sure to follow me over on my Instagram page. But today we are reviewing yet again another Lattafa. I know I've been banging out these Lattafas left and right, guys, because I've been picking up these pretty much anytime I come across them in like the rack stores because they are popping up like crazy, especially now for the holidays. And this one in particular got a ton of hype a few years back, and I did hear about it. I kind of knew about it. So I'm finally glad to have a bottle in the collection and to review it for you guys now. Especially with a scent profile that's somewhat similar to By the Fireplace. You already know it's gonna be right up my alley because By the Fireplace is probably one of my favorite wintertime fragrances of all time. Like if it's snowing outside, man, I'm usually rocking By the Fireplace. So we'll talk about how this one compares to that, if this one's even better, which would be crazy, which it might be, so stay tuned to find out about that. But first, let's go over some information. So this actually was launched in 2021, so a few years ago. Like I said, it did get a ton of hype when it first came out. Still is pretty hyped up as well even today. The retail price on the only size this comes in, which is the 100 ml, as you see I have in hand, for around 20 bucks. Sometimes you can find it for even less than $20. Sometimes a little bit more, but you're not going to pay anything usually above those prices, which just is crazy for the kind of fragrance you're getting with this. Concentration with this one as well is an eau de parfum, so they didn't even like skimp out on the concentration, so you are getting something that's pretty highly concentrated, which is always nice. As far as the perfumer behind this one, it is unknown, which is the most cases with these kind of Middle Eastern Lattafa, Afnan fragrance houses. They don't usually list the perfumer, but whoever they are did a great job with Ameer Al Oudh. Now with all the information out of the way, let's look at the packaging and presentation you'll get with this one now. All right, take a look at the box, which actually does not look cheap whatsoever. I'm kind of digging this white, black, gold color scheme, of course. You have Lattafa Ameer Al Oudh, probably some Arabic right there, eau de parfum 100 ml. On the bottom, you do have your barcode and batch code to authenticate your product to see when it was produced. And then on the back, just some of your information and ingredients. But all in all, the box presentation is very nice for the price. Let's look at the bottle now. So take a look at the bottle now, which, by the way, guys, this is one of the heaviest bottles I've ever had in my hand. This thing weighs a ton, and it's kind of crazy, especially for the price. Very high quality glass. Of course, you kind of have the same scheme as the box has with the black and gold. Ameer Al Oudh, of course, Lattafa Intense Oud. On the bottom, you do have your sticker with some information as well. Nothing on the back, nothing on top of the cap. This cap is actually very heavy as well. It's like a heavy, I think it's actually metal, and it does hold on by friction very snugly. And you do have this beautiful kind of ambery color juice inside, which is great. In the top, you have woody notes and oud. In the mid, you have sugar and vanilla. And in the base, you have oud, sandalwood, and herbal notes. And this will be classified as a sweet smoky. So let's spray this and test out these atomizers. Honestly, a disappointing atomizer, but I can't blame them, especially for the price. So they can skip out on that, that's okay. So let's go ahead and remind myself of Ameer Al Oudh now. Jeez, guys, this instantly puts a smile on my face right away. And if, like I said before, if you like By the Fireplace, you'll love this without a doubt, like 9 out of 10 times, because it's very, very similar. In the opening of this one, you are going to get this very woody top note, like a ton of woods going on right away when you spray it, which is kind of unusual for a top note to have woods like this. You are going to have to love a good woody fragrance to appreciate this, but what makes this one stand out a ton in the opening at least is that oud. Now, I will have to admit though, the oud in here does smell pretty synthetic. It is on that more funky Middle Eastern side of oud, and that's even coming from somebody that loves oud. Oud is one of my favorite notes of all time, but in here, it is a little funky and somewhat synthetic. But thankfully, guys, as this one dries down, that funkiness from the oud does disappear quite quickly. It does open up a little bit harsh and chemically, which, like I said, does start to smooth out a ton as it starts to settle and dry down. All in all, just a extremely woody base through and through when you first apply this one, with a slight kind of chemically harsh opening. Now in the mid is where things change completely, because it starts to turn very, very sweet from the sugar. It's more like a sugar cane or sugar cube kind of note, which is somewhat different when you have like oud, woody notes, and sugar. Don't really see a combination like that, but guys, it absolutely works. And by the time we make our way into the mid as well, is where it does start to kind of smooth out from that harsh, kind of funky, chemically opening that you are going to get. And some Lattafas, unfortunately, do have that kind of harsh, synthetic, chemical, kind of a little bit of a mess going on. especially when you first apply them. But guys, this is a $20 fragrance at the end of the day. It's not gonna be like the most well blended, the highest of qualities, etc. But like I said, if you can get past that harsh opening, once you make your way into the mid, this stuff completely changes for the better. Because alongside the sugar cubes, you are also going to get this very warm, cozy, spicy vanilla note, and I love vanilla. And just goes perfectly combined with the sugar in the mid for an ultra sweet, warm, spicy mid. And then finally in the base of this one is where it still consists of the woody nature, because another wood comes through, which is sandalwood, which kind of just more so is a creamy sandalwood rather than like the dusty, kind of pickly sandalwood, which I'm not the biggest fan of. So the creamy aspect from the sandalwood go perfect with the vanilla, which isn't going anywhere. You are going to get that vanilla throughout the entire life of this fragrance as well, which is great. Mixed in with some more oud in the base. However, the oud in the base is much better than the oud in the opening of this one, because it's more so of just like this dark woody oud, not so funky. So even for my non-oud lovers out there, you will still enjoy the base of this one. I know there are herbal notes listed, however, the herbal notes are not coming through whatsoever. I'm not really getting any green tones, any kind of herbaceous tones at all in this scent profile. Just ultra woody, spicy, sweet, and just warm and comforting. So basically take the By the Fireplace scent profile, remove the nutty aspects from like the hazelnut, etc., and kind of replace it with this like sugary, kind of sweet vanilla tone, and you pretty much get Ameer Al Oudh. It's a much smoother, creamier, and sweeter version of that DNA. For me personally, I don't think this is overtaking By the Fireplace, because if you know me and you've seen me talk about By the Fireplace, it's my favorite winter fragrance. I absolutely love that one. But I will say though, this stuff is incredible as well, and I can see myself wearing this one somewhat as an alternative to By the Fireplace on those cold, snowy days. And especially at the price, this thing is like $100 cheaper than By the Fireplace. So you are getting a heck of a value with Ameer Al Oudh by Lattafa. For the best seasons to rock Ameer Al Oudh, just like I've been saying, guys, this is targeted towards the colder weather, like the fall and especially the winter time, but I can definitely see this one working perfect for the fall time as well. Actually, maybe even more so than By the Fireplace, because I primarily only wear that one for the winter time. This one though, I can actually see being pulled off in the fall better than that one. So it is a little bit more versatile, but primarily just those two seasons. This isn't really something you want to wear in like a hot, humid summer day when the sun's out. It's like 100 degrees outside, because if you do that, this stuff is going to become very, very like cloying and sickeningly sweet on skin and just unpleasant altogether. And for occasion, I think this one does lean more on the formal side rather than casual side, just because it's not really fun, playful. It just doesn't really give me casual attire at all. You could dress this one up into like a nice suit, a tuxedo, a dress shirt, but I can imagine wearing this one the best with like a nice pair of jeans, a nice pea coat when it's snowing outside, you're going for a walk, maybe taking your girl out to a nice date, kind of walking downtown when it's snowing outside, you got a pea coat on. That's like the perfect kind of situation and attire to wear Ameer Al Oudh. It just absolutely gives me that vibe and the kind of picture I'm painting in my head when I smell this one. So the perfect kind of winter date night fragrance that will have whoever you're going out with fall in love with you when they smell this on you, without a doubt, guys. So if you are on a budget, you want something cozy, warm, kind of seductive and good for date nights in the colder weather, absolutely check out Lattafa Ameer Al Oudh, because this one will do the job easily. Now for gender, I do think this one is pretty unisex, but it does lean on the masculine side of things. I will say though, this is more unisex than By the Fireplace, in my opinion personally, just because of the sweetness, the vanilla is more heavy, etc. If you're a woman watching this one and you thought By the Fireplace was a little bit too masculine for you, but you kind of enjoyed that DNA, absolutely you could check this one out. I think you would enjoy this one a little bit more if that is you I'm talking to, just because I do know some women personally that don't really like By the Fireplace because it is on the more masculine side of things. So at the end of the day, this one's unisex, slightly leaning masculine, but I can absolutely see a woman rocking this one flawlessly. And for the boys out there, of course, this is going to be great for you as well because of the woodiness, a nice oud going on, the spiciness, etc. So ladies, check this one out, and the guys, absolutely get your nose on this as well. For age groups though, I think this one is also on the mature side. Like I said a little bit earlier, this is not a fun, playful, kind of youthful style fragrance at all. Usually when you think of youthful fragrance, you think of something sweet, a little bit more immature smelling, but this one is definitely a mature fragrance. Doesn't mean though, if you are like a teenager, early 20s, you can't rock this one, because you can. No fragrance actually has an age group, of course. Obviously, when I'm reviewing these things, I'm just trying to paint you guys the best picture, because you can't smell these through the camera lens. If only you could here. You want to take a sniff? Here, how's that smell? No, you can't. Unfortunately, as of now, maybe in the future they've come up with something like that. That would be a game changer. But like I'm saying, guys, I'm just trying to paint you the best picture on who I imagine wearing this one the absolute best. But obviously anything I say isn't absolute fact. So I know some people get upset about that, but guys, this is my review and I'm just telling you guys what I think. So wrapping the review off, talking on the performance you should expect from Lattafa Ameer Al Oudh Intense Oud, which is just a crazy name to begin with as well. There was literally no reason to include Intense Oud in that name. It should have just been called Ameer Al Oudh. But hey, I'm not the one that made the fragrance, of course, so I can't really say that much. But with the performance though, I got about average performance. It wasn't a beast mode, it wasn't nuclear, but it wasn't so like soft or intimate or a very close bubble centric fragrance either. So about average, which means I did get up to that 8-hour mark of longevity, which is respectable, especially at the price. But when it comes to the projection, I was hoping for a little bit stronger projection from this. However, most of the time when you have these kind of scent profiles like woody fragrances, they don't usually project the most. Like some of like sweet fragrances, aquatic fragrances, aromatic fragrances, things like that. So unfortunately, I kind of expected that as well, but I was hoping for a little bit better. Still about moderate to maybe a little bit more intimate, which kind of correlates with me saying this is a perfect like date night fragrance to bring your date in closer to you to get a smell of it. But if you're buying this thinking it's going to fill up a room, it's not going to do that and you will be disappointed. So don't buy this one thinking that. But when you are walking around with the scent seals behind you, there's just going to be left with a heavenly trail, this sweet woodiness fragrance that you're going to get with this. It might have some people following you down the road even, because like I said, this is a seductive fragrance that just smells so inviting and just so comforting. That's gonna do it for my review of Lattafa Ameer Al Oudh. Let me know down below if any of you guys watching this one has gotten your nose on this one, if you're thinking on picking it up, and what is your favorite Lattafa as well, because as of now, guys, I have so many of them and I'm thinking about ranking my entire collection very soon from my favorite to my least favorite. So stay tuned for that one as well to see where Ameer Al Oudh ranks in that video. As always, leave a like on the video, subscribe below if you haven't already, and of course, I'll catch all of you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.